Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19.
Coach, thanks. CA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the Inner Harbor at M&T Bank Stadium here in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, it's the penultimate week of the regular season, Week 16, and we've got a good one in store between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. So here come the Ravens now, ready to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Derek Nottie makes the tackle.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And not much, maybe a yard up to the 29.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice... And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. Jadeveon Clowney in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks?
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Ito Smith, his first carry. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
A first down carry for Smith. And an alley to run. And now off to the races down the right side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Ito Smith, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Butker now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain of 39 that time.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
Now a play fake here on first down. There's the Penn State man. It's Chris Godwin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Raven passing game getting in sync, another first down.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
11 more yards that go around, a first down as well. This offense can certainly move quickly when they want to. 3 plays, 3 pass completions. In the blink of an eye, they've got a first and goal.
Almost felt like a lightning bolt hit in this game, didn't it? For them to get downfield that quickly. And now first and goal, expect them to tackle right here on this play.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained. So they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. He'll get it up the middle. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
And how about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's fourth down.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield. But when push came to shove, they stood their ground. And now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Myers able to knock it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, it's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
It's a gain of 9 yards, and that'll make it second and short. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, second and a yard. On second down, here's Smith, and he'll be brought down right around the 37. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you've said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a second and 3.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive. And like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. To throw on second down. Jensen. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he gets it down to the 32. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. They've got a second down and 8 to start things out. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. 7-3 the score. We're back to Baltimore after this. They'll run it now out of the gun. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll try and run forward with Smith. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards.
Here we go now.
The pitch goes to Smith. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's got 4 down inside the 20 to the 18.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll run for it with Smith. But he has the first down before he's tackled at the 5. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call. Smith trying to run for it. And he's in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Ito Smith with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them right now, not a done deal. So they are holding down one of the final wild card spots. And with 2 weeks to go, there are others kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And imagine what the talk has been all week within their locker room.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A gain of 32 that time.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or 2 in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play, it worked for big yardage. And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. That's going to be a 6-yard gain. It leaves him with 3rd down and just a yard to go.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
To throw is Stafford. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short. Blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job.
And this is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Devontae Parker with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Ravens draw a bit closer. They haven't fully climbed the mountain, but they've started the ascent here with that score.
I like that, right? I think they've left base camp now, okay? So they've started to move their way up the mountain. Long way to go, but at least they know it's manageable.
Martin, the punter, now out to kick it away. Now D.D. Westbrook to return. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. So with the Steeler offense on their way out, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And right now, a lot to like on that screen. They've wrapped up the division, now currently sitting in the coveted number 2 spot. Of course, you'd love number 1, but if you can't have one, number 2 is pretty good.
I agree with you totally, and here's the other part, too. The really good teams, the really confident teams, they're not as worried about being number 1. 2 is fine because they feel like they can go on the road and win against number 1 if they absolutely have to. The big thing, though, is clinching one of those early buys and able to sit and get a little rest as the playoffs begin.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. Looking to throw. Jensen. Able to push his way through. It'll be a gain of 11, and it'll be 2nd and about a yard. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Baltimore after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Here's a give to Smith. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. He could muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. This time he'll look to throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Quick slant there, gets him the first down, 6 yards on the play.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they have planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
He'll get this over to Westbrook. It's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. He got 29 yards that time. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on first down. Jensen. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Crayvon LeBlanc with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you got a decent chance.
Now White lost the football. And it looks like Steeler football. It is.
They may have the edge on the scoreboard, but that hasn't made them pass it, has it? I mean, they've dialed up a pretty good run blitz there. And Brandon, you know that all blitzes aren't just designed to get to the quarterback and the passer. Sometimes you're just trying to take away every gap, every hole that might be created in the running game, and they did it to perfection and caused a fumble there.
Took away the gaps, took away the holes, took away the football. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
Hey, here we go now. Blue Lightning! Blue Lightning!
Back to throw. Jensen. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Calvin Ridley as the first half is winding down. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. 15 seconds, all that remains for this first half as they come up 1st and 10.
4 down. Set.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. So we've reached halftime here with a visiting. We now proceed to the start of the 2nd half. So time for the 2nd half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the 3rd quarter. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the 2nd half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the 2nd half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Again, it's Smith. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. And we're still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. It'll go as a gain of 7 on the play, and it sets up a 3rd and inches situation.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here we go now.
They'll try and sneak it here. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Gun!
They'll run it now out of the gun. A gain of 10, good for a Steeler first down.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. They keep it with Smith on first down. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Well, we saw them there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Barney!
Looking to throw on second down. Jensen. And he will find Ridley on the left side. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
On 3rd down, Smith. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
A second spin.
Turning and turning and turning.
And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
Well, this has been a long drive. In fact, it's eaten up a good chunk of the 3rd quarter, which is precisely what you want when you're playing with the lead. You control the football, you control the clock, and impose your will on the defense.
Now Ito Smith, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
They get it to him running left. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Ito Smith taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical, that's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the 3rd quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On the handoff, this is Howard. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Now Stafford. Open man has got it. It's complete. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, You really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do. And it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open, he finds a way to pick up a first down. At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of the yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first down with that run.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Set, lady.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And Gronkowski's got it, complete over the middle. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And that'll bring up fourth down. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on fourth down.
Set, lady.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Jadeveon Clowney in there for sack number 127 in his great career. Moving him past Kansas City Hall of Famer Derek Thomas on the all-time list. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. Off the play fake. Jensen out to his left. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've got an answer for it.
And he's got some space here. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Ito Smith, 65 yards. And the Steelers are going to add on to their lead. And that rushing touchdown, his fourth, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it. But he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
Butker now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Ravens heading out on offense as we look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Well, you're impressed, don't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games? Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadrupled. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
Quickly to Gronkowski. That's caught. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
A good return there, 17 yards. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Hey, here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
They'll start on the ground. It's Ito Smith. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage. Use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. On 3rd down, that's Smith. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th.
Well, I'll tell you, this guy's had a monster game on the ground. So if you're going to go for it on 4th and short, it can't be any secret who's going to get the ball. And sure enough, he's going to add to his total here as they pick up the first down.
And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
A handoff to Smith. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping Those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a short gain here down to the 22. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down. The Steelers on third down. Can't fault these numbers. 7 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 7.
Now let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We've seen this offense go for it on 4th down already on this drive. I wonder if they'll go for it again.
I certainly wouldn't rule it out with these guys. Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down? They'll run for it here with Smith. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's 1st and goal after they rip off a solid chunk of yardage in the ground game on a risky 4th down call. I think this defense tired of seeing him run the football, and this D-line probably getting sick of the O-line as well.
And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking about a conversation I had with Adam Gase, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in the offseason. He told me that he asked his running backs each week for their favorite runs. Give me your 3 top runs. Offense. And right now, you're seeing a guy that's probably using his top runs to great advantage in this game.
He is in a zone. It's a loss of 10 yards on the play. A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. After the penalty, it's Smith. And he's going to push his way down to about the 12. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Still a ways from the end zone as they come up now on 2nd and goal. They'll give it to him up the middle. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Steelers, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2.
you